All right. Thank you, Heavenly Father. Thank you, Eoe, Jehovah, all present, Most High, Ahura Mazda. Thank you, Creator, for this opportunity. This opportunity to be a light while I'm in this reality. Another opportunity to try to redeem the time. Thank you, brother, for joining me. My name is Jacob Israel, and this is my channel where I just try to minister to brethren who can subscribe to the OAHSPE Bible, and basically brethren who are coming out of religion also. That's another thing that was brought to my mind about what I like to try to do on my channel. And what I mean by that is you're able to follow the Creator. Some of you are, in the sense that you can hear His voice. You realize that the Creator, He's not stagnant. That just like we're, in these bodies we grow, same way in the spirit, man. Even in let me scroll the screen here so you can see the angels. Angels of the daytime and angels of the evening that I used to do every day on my videos, but since I don't do the weekends, and I miss some angels, so I'll scroll it so that you can look and see what, you can determine what day that you, whether this is the first or second or third or fourth or fifth or sixth, seventh day to you, then you can, go by what the Essene Gospel of Peace says is the angel for that day. And basically it's just to learn who the angels are. Not that it's a comprehensive list, but just so you can be familiar with who they are, so you can give thanks and, from time to time, and to be mindful of the air, of the water, of the wisdom we have, of the work we do, of the joy and the peace that comes in sometimes in your life. There are angels for these things. So basically, I believe the Creator has given us these things so that we can be in that thankful frame of mind. We live in a world where we're just so pampered and taken care of that, everything, it's like we got this entitlement mentality where I'm telling you, we really got it too. We really got it where, I hate to say it, man. I hate to sound negative, but where it's hard to be thankful. It's hard. I mean, we think that we got this attitude. I was talking the other day about the, there's we're taught to be proud, man, and a lot of it comes from people you look up to, like in the sports world, and then you look at them, and they're about self-glorification. They're really self-gods. They worship themselves, and we've done now, not that they meant to do us any harm. They didn't mean to do us any harm, but it was, we were ignorant. We didn't know. We were ignorant. We didn't know a lot of these things that when people, the way they act, it can rub off on you. And, we live in you brethren, you spiritual, that there's a vibration, and it's very, it's invisible, it's unnoticeable, and these things, they affect us. And so it's not till like later on you grow up, you mature, and you see how you've been affected, and it's something that now you got to take it off. You got to remake yourself, so to speak, in the spirit, because you come into contact with the Creator. You know that the Creator, He's fundamental in your life. You know that we all have something to do with the Creator. You got to know that, man. My channel, it ain't for everybody, because I realize that a lot of the things I say, they may sound kooky. I'm just a brother, and man, all I'm trying to do, oh shoot, the screen, I messed it up there. I was trying to scroll it. Let me fix my screen. I got to do something to my screen real quick here. But I'm just a brother, man. I'm a brother who's really hit his stride. The Creator has blessed me in the sense that there's really nothing really for me in the world. Although I look back and it just seems like I look back, man, and I can't explain it. I don't feel like I'm real good with money, but I've never lacked it. Feel like I'm very hard to get along with, but I'm able to talk to people and to relate to people. I just think that, I'm afflicted in a lot of ways that, where you could tend to look, think that you're not, you could just, the Creator can use anybody. That's the whole point I was going to say. And it just so turns out that I'm a spiritual type of brother. I believe in this reality. Things come and go. Here today, gone tomorrow. Might as well set yourself up for what you know is eternal. And the Creator, one thing I know I've learned. One thing I know that I have learned. One thing I know that I have learned that I would love to share with you is that if you adopt that mindset where, hey man, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm looking for the Creator. I realize that he wants, he's about what is good for me. Wants to do me right, doesn't want to do me wrong. So I concluded in my mind that if I look for him and I'm trying to be honest and sincere, I'll probably end up finding him, most likely, because the whole world, they look at, God is good. God is gracious, God is good, and we thank Him for our food. You know, people equate the Creator, and they don't even know they're doing it. They equate Him with what is good about our reality. So you got to think, if I just humble myself and I just approach Him in sincerity and truth, not trying to see where I could make merchandise of the gospel or bully people with my knowledge, make them give myself power, you're going to find Him. I think that people who do want to use the knowledge that He gives you for corrupt purposes, I know we got people like that in this reality. They get off on knowledge and they start going around, man, using it to bully people, and you don't get it. You all, you know, when you get on that vibration, you're going to be ever learning, never able to come to the knowledge of the truth. Because everything that He gives us is to share with your brethren so that they can make it, so that they can, they can get on that level, elevate in their spirit. I mean, everywhere you read, that's all the OAHSPE is all about, man. You know, the Creator, He'll equip you, and then you will rise as you raise up your brother. At least try to raise up your brother. That's the whole thing right there, man. That's the message right there. And the Creator, what He does, He done given us His word. He done tested us. He gave us the Bible. We went for it. We were confused. Didn't know everything. Contradiction here, there. Looking at guys merchandising it. Prosperity people. You know. All this confusion. Hey, Elijah, brother. Thank you. Thank you for joining me, brother. Hope you can hear me okay. Thank you, brother, for being here. I forgot to make you a moderator. I'm going to make a lot of you brethren moderators. So y'all can feel special, have a little hammer, a little icon by your name. You know. But anyway, brother, thanks for joining me. So we really been set up. You know, one thing that I was thinking about. One thing I was thinking about the other day is we've been taught, we've been set up, man, in our walk. The Creator He's always been setting us up to mature. And what I mean by that is, like, we started out Christianity. One of the major things that they teach you in Christianity is walk by faith, not by sight. Walk by faith, not by sight. And you don't learn too much after that. You just know, Jesus is Lord, Father, Son, Holy Spirit, that sort of thing. And really not much else. The good book, doing to others as you would have them do unto you. Faith, basic faith. So in that sense, the Creator, He was, we spend a lot of time in kindergarten. Have you brethren ever had water seltzer? I don't know if you can see it okay. Water seltzer. That stuff's pretty good, man. It ain't got no calories. It's like what do they call it? It's like seltzer water. It's got a fizz to it. Fizzy water. But anyway, Christianity, they taught us like the basics. Basically faith. Being able to receive things that you don't fully understand, things you might not see. And so we hung with that. You brethren, you hung with that. You faith us, we hung with that, even though we had all that confusion and misunderstanding. And now we see that we've been set up. Because if you weren't able to really subscribe to that message, man, at some point the Creator, He'll test you. In a sense like, all right, I brought them down this road. Let me see what happens if I take a left turn. What will they do? Will they go with me? Or will they stay? Will they trust me? And if you can't hear His voice, you ain't going to trust Him. That's basically what's going on right now with the situation. The OAHSPE brethren can't turn, man. They can't break from from the beast. They can't break from Christianity in the sense that it's something new. Jesus Christ, people have been worshiping, Jesus is Lord all our lives. That's all we heard. Hard for older brethren to get away from that, man. I've seen it with my own eyes, brethren. Is when I started turning to when I started turning to the Third Testament, I was trying to share with brethren, couldn't do it. Something new, that means it couldn't be right. So I dealt with that, but it kind of set me up for what was coming later, the OAHSPE. Heavenly Father set me up. He introduced me to the Third Testament, and then I got hit with the OAHSPE. And that's when I went from the frying pan to the fire with the OAHSPE, so far as losing brethren not being able to receive it, the rejection, trying to share with brethren, the rejection, absolutely amazing to me, man. I thought everybody was like myself, where you could hear the Creator when he talking. You got to be able to hear him. Now I know I was saying the same thing when I was studying under the Bible. I mean, that was all we had, and you kind of had to accept that, because it does have a lot of truth in it. It's got a lot of anointing on it, meaning spiritual truth. But the problem is that if you can't read between the lines with the scripture, if you can't pick up the vibration it's under, you'll believe it too. But it's like that account in the Bible about the new wine and the old wine. At the festival, they bring out the old wine first and then the better wine afterwards. And then the guy said, but you brought out the better wine now instead of later. That's the way it is with the OAHSPE. Although, that's an interesting account, because first it was the Bible, we subscribed to that, and, got used to that. And now, what, the OAHSPE, it's just a knockout. It's so far as compared to the Bible, it's like way more anointed. I mean, it's got a serious vibration on it, and who knows what we gonna get next? What word are we gonna get next? I mean, I can't even imagine anything that would top what the Creator is sharing with us now. I mean, to me, it just knocks me out. When it's able to speak to you in your spirit to where you agree with it. I mean, to me, that's where I think that's how the Creator, he protect brethren. Meaning, you ain't going nowhere. You get some of this. You just ain't going to go nowhere, man. Whether hell or high water, man. This is something that's going to bless your soul. It's got that type of anointing on it. I remember somebody was saying, but how can we trust it? She said, how can I trust that? And I told her to close her eyes. I said, imagine that you close your eyes, and then you have 1,000 people say your names, greet you. Hey, how you, hey, Darlene, how you doing? And I told that sister that, now imagine your mom and your dad are part of that crowd full of people. Say it's a whole stadium full of people, man, and you have to pick out who your mom and your dad is. And so 1,000 people come up to say, hi, Darlene, how you doing? Hi, Darlene, how you doing? When your mom and your dad show up and they say it, you're going to know it's them. You're going to know it's them, man. I mean, you're going to be able to hear their voice. Same way with the Creator. He can, and that's what helps you see the plan that we've been under. He let us go into deity, idolatry work. That's the biggest thing for my channel. What I try to warn brethren of is deity. Get away from deity, idolatry worship. We live in a world. The people are bound. They're in bondage to Jesus Christ. They don't know the inspiration for it. It's amazing how much people that they don't know about Jesus Christ. That's the thing. Hey, Bronze Yogi. Hey, brother. Peace, love, and light to you, brother. Good to see you, man. I hope I bless you today. But what I'm going to say, good to see you. Thanks for checking in, bro. So, for me, in my experience, I mean, I don't think I'll ever stop shaking my head about this reality, about how people, there's a lack of faith. There's a lack of dedication. I'm again, man, I ain't trying to be negative, but I'm talking about what I see. I'm not trying to sound like I'm better than anybody, but I'm amazed at the pull of the world. I'm amazed at how people will go through. You hear about the things famous people go through for fame. They overdo it. Even 15 minutes of fame and fortune, and people will sell out for it. They'll sell out for it, man. I've never been able to really understand that. You dedicate your whole energy, your whole being to something so temporary. But the Creator, when He starts speaking to you, it just should resonate with you. It should be easy to tell what is good, what is right. Here we got the OAHSPE saying, do right by your brother. Be non-resistant, be non-violent. Don't ever subscribe to war. Don't worship a man who was made. He tells you about the Hebrew tetracts, how He gave them to us as a form of testing. The evil, those are evil. That's how you can understand when the scriptures say, I create the light and I create darkness. Because He puts that on us. And it's kind of like a trial for us to overcome, to sharpen ourselves. Would you want to be in a kingdom full of people who never was able to overcome the tetracts? The seven negative vibrations. I know I don't want to live there. I don't want to be nowhere around. That's probably what drives me more than anything. I just so happen to believe that He's given us that vibration for a little while. And then we reap the benefits if we can endure. Hey, Ace and F. All right. How you doing, sis? It's good to see you. Good to see you, sis. I kept thinking about you all day yesterday because of what you said about the vampire. That let me know what a vampire spirit is. When I was talking about the brother, that he always comes by. I like when somebody, I think that, whenever somebody come within my doors, I always try to offer them something to eat, and I learned that from the Hebrew Israelites, that we used to be a people, when somebody came over to your house, that we always was able to prepare, you hear about food being prepared, and so I made it a point of mine that if somebody come over, they visit, I always want to offer them something to eat. Something, fruit or candy or drink, something to drink. And so when he comes over, like that seltzer water I was showing you earlier, this right here, this seltzer water, this stuff's pretty good. I'm pretty addicted to that. I think you can see it okay. See this here? Turn it the other way. That stuff right there, move my fingers out of the way. I think you can see it. I don't know. That stuff's pretty good, man. The seltzer water. So when he comes over, I like to offer it to him, And then he would drink one can real fast, so I would give him another one, And I have snacks here, not so much for me, but for him. You see AceNet says, be careful feeding people. It can make a covenant test. It could make a covenant test the spirit first. Let me see. Let me think about that. You say be careful with feeding people. It can make a covenant. Test the spirit first. Let me see. Be careful with feeding people. It can make a covenant. Test the spirit first. Oh, okay. Yeah, you right, sis. You right. Yeah. I don't really test the spirit though. You know. I do know I put something up in my room that yeah, you right. I love your wisdom, sis. I have to be honest with you. But I'm gonna tell you when you lay an egg too, okay? So I'm gonna tell you when you lay in an egg, alright? But so far you're on a winning streak with me. I really appreciate that vampires, the understanding now I have of what a vampire spirit is. So he comes over and I made my best pitch to him about what it's all about. I tried to make my best pitch, and he don't seem to get it. And in my mind, I say to myself, man, why do you keep coming over? I don't like to talk about the world. He likes to, talk about his gun collection. Talk about how he, I mean, I don't want to talk down to the brother because I really like him, but I don't really like talking about sports or the world, or I don't like vanity, man. I can't hang. I can't hang with. I could turn it on for a couple minutes with people, but after that, man, I don't want to do that no more. I don't like talking about vanity. And so when you said he's got a vampire spirit, I mean, it just hit me like a lightning bolt, man. That's what a vampire spirit is. My goodness, man. That's exactly what it is. That's a bloodsucker, man. They like the hope that you provide for them. See, you brethren, you got words of life, man. You can say things people ain't never heard before. You got to think about that, man. Don't you know that you brethren, the knowledge that you have, don't you know you can say things to people that they ain't really heard. They have not heard what we are talking about before. They really don't know. I mean, you can speak to them in a way that they never heard before. And they think that you're real educated because I make sure, I just tell, hey man, if you love something, you're going to learn about it. It ain't got nothing to do with being smart or, if you love something, you're going to dedicate yourself to it. You might say, hey man, I like what you're saying, but look, man, you only really like it if you're willing to search things out for yourself. Otherwise, you're just a vampire spirit, man. You get off on what people say. You like the sweet words they hear. Remember that scripture? I should really find that, man, in the Bible where it says they listen to you as listening to a sweet song. What does it say? It's somewhere in the Bible. There's a verse where it talks about they like to hear that sweet song, about the love of the Creator and Etheria and Nirvana and the Creator's plan for everybody. But man, what are you going to do about it? They like to hear it, but it don't make you, even the Bible says that when you treat the word, but it don't really make you move. I got to do something here to make a quick run. I'll be back in 20 seconds. All right. Sometimes you never know, man. You start drinking those herbs and look out, it may strike at any minute. Okay. Ezekiel 33:32. Thanks, sis. Ezekiel 33:32. Let's look at that real quick. Ezekiel, let me check it out. Is that the one? Let me see. Hold on a second. Ezekiel 33:32. Ezekiel 33:32, King James Version. Is that the one? Oh, yep. Good. Very nice. Yes. That's it. ASNAF. Yep. I think it's a shame, but I think that's the world we live in. That's the world we live in right there. I hate to say it. It just came to my mind, so I'm sharing it. The verse in the scriptures where it says, and they come to thee as a people cometh, and they sit before thee as my people, and they hear thy words, but they will not do them. For with their mouth they shew much love, but with their heart goeth after their covetousness. And lo, thou art unto them as a very lovely song of one that hath a pleasant voice. Yup, that's it perfectly, man. That's what, and who can play well on an instrument, for they hear thy words, but they do them not. Yeah. I hate to say it, man. I do, truly, man. The OAHSPE teach against and say, don't even say don't even share a bad report about people. I think I break that about every day, to be honest. I don't even know how to communicate without sharing what is a negative report about this thing or that. I wish I would stop. It's my way of communicating. The dude, he comes over, man. He just and I know partly it has to do with, because I give him he'll come over, I immediately offer him the drink, and the snacks that I have, and because when I try to talk to him about spiritual things, and also, matter of fact, I'm finished scrolling. Let me go to my room now. There's a verse that I want to share with you, brethren, from the OAHSPE. This is one of the reasons why I love the OAHSPE. Here's a food ministry that I have. I'm trying to target orphans, elderly, and disabled people. There's my contact information. Now, here's my room where I like to read verses. I like to try to find verses in the OAHSPE and then share them with brethren, because I know that it feels good, man, to read these things because of the vibration. Here's a Bible study that we had a pretty good one yesterday. Pretty good Bible study. Some lady led it, talking about creeds, rites, ceremonies. Pretty good, So let me scroll this real quick. You can take down the information if you think you want to join. Just stop the screen and, whenever you want to join with other brethren, our situation is good, man. It ain't no thing where, you can say what you truly feel, whether you're right or wrong. Ain't nobody going to come against you and, attack you. You can just say, some lady in the study, she said yesterday, one thing that she felt she was so glad of is getting out of religion is, it's like she could just be free. Creator just let you be free, man. He let you he takes you out of that bondage, man. Religion is bondage, religio, Latin word for bondage. And it seemed like when you get rid of that vibration and you just read and let your spirit interpret it for you, man, you home free. You are home free, brother. And it seemed like that's when you get a greater anointing on what you read. Soon as you conclude in your mind, when you purpose in your mind not to bully people with the word, to where they got to bow down to you, that if you want to share it, because, people need the word, man. They need the word. I was asking a couple of days ago about suicide, and there's a couple of people that just got led to me, and I perceived it was on purpose. It's because it should not have happened that way. And then they ended up talking about it, and that's when I knew, man, that the Creator was giving me answers. I think in the study they were talking a little bit about it. The brother was saying that you make your problems worse. If you commit suicide, man, you make your problems. Matter of fact, I think I read that. I think that's in the OAHSPE. I'm trying to remember, but I think it talks about in the OAHSPE where the Creator, he says, man, that's the worst. You make it worse, man, when you do that. Or I was listening to a video, I think. But I think the OAHSPE, it says something about that too. Where you commit suicide, and it's like, now you make it worse. I feel at some point I'll probably end up bringing that out. Let's look at some scriptures that I post. Because, now what did I remember hearing? It was like, because, I can't remember exactly. Let me see. It had something to do with, remember that thing I posted in the room here where it talked about your thoughts do you know your thoughts is your cohort? Did you know that? Did you, brother, know that? Your spiritual thoughts, that's your cohort. So if you out there, you thinking evil and, blood destruction and, terrorizing people or afflicting people, or do you know that that's your cohort you're making up? I read that the other day, man. I posted it right there in the room. I'll probably get to it again right here. At some point I'm going to stop and read the verses. I'm going to scroll it a little bit, and then when I reach one where I want to make a point, I'm going to stop and read it. Yeah, it said your thoughts is your spiritual cohort. Remember? The verse said that, gives the account, brother crosses over. He was a pure brother, I think it meant that he was trying to do what was right by the Creator. And he wakes up and sees a beautiful woman and wants to know who she is. She said, I'm you. I'm you. I'm your thoughts that you had on earth. Beautiful woman, Matter of fact, I remember my brother telling me a story. My brother, he said, let me see. He was telling me, hey Chuck, what was that story if you hear? You said the man's soul said, I'll go with you. I'll go with you. It has something to do with he fell on hard times, he was, he fell off his high horse, or he hit rock bottom and couldn't find friend or family or something. And then he wondered to himself, who's going to go with me now? And the man, his soul said, I'll go with you. See, it was his soul that he had been neglecting. And there's something spiritual to that. That's got a vibration on it. Come to find out, the OAHSPE say the same thing. It say your thoughts are that's your cohort, man. That knocked me out. That's your cohort. That's why, and I really envy some brethren, because I know I shouldn't say that, but I mean in the sense that they just got this natural vibration on them where, they won't give the evil report. They won't, you know what I mean? They're under the spirit, man. They don't think no evil, do no evil. They just to be around these brethren, man, they convict you. I mean, it's like they got a natural immunity to the tetracts. Okay, now here's something right here. This is what I was talking about earlier. This verse right here. See, check it out. Look at what the OAHSPE say. He say it is better to live. Okay, Not this part here, but I'll read it anyway. It says, it is better to labor with a child from infancy than to maturity. Meaning, it's better to get them, like, I remember a lady telling me, a child is like a tree. You know, if you don't get them when they're tender, pretty soon they turn into a hardened stump. You know, where you can't, they're no longer flexible. Here the OAHSPE says, it's better to labor with a child from infancy and then to maturity, to teach it rightly, than to strive with a score, meaning a lot of them. I think I put, this is a footnote. Okay, I didn't include the footnote, but it says a score, as in with many people, of conceited adults. It's better to get them while they're young than with a whole bunch of conceited adults and fail to redeem one. Check that out. Fail to redeem one, man. It says, who are the mockers of charity more than they who give to those who can help themselves but will not? Meaning, brethren, who you're able to help yourself, but you want somebody to give to you. It says, wisdom and uprightness of heart are like bread. You got to eat it, man. Now, here's the part I was talking about. Do not preach to unwelcome ears, or sermons to wisdom to be forced into men's souls. And I was talking about the brother, he comes over, and it's in my spirit not to share these things with people if I think they don't want to hear it. I don't like to share it. I know you brethren feel the same way. I don't like that, man. Because that's why I love what Daryl did that one time, man. I love that part where they was pressing him, it was interrupting him, you know, and they really didn't want to hear what he had to say. I mean, they couldn't answer him, and so they kept trying to bogart him, you know, bum rush him, stop him from opening his mouth. And so at one point during the debate, he said, all right, if you don't want, I ain't going to say, go ahead, I ain't going to talk. Y'all talk. I ain't got to say nothing. Man, I loved it, man. I loved it. I can't say how much I love that, man. And that's the same way with faith, this man. We don't have to force anything on nobody. We're free from that now. But if you want some of this, you can surely have it. That's my attitude. But the days of of being a Hebrew Israelite, that's done with for me, man. You know, forcing it on people. Although I talk a lot about spirituality and I can't help myself, but I'll pick up if casting pearls before swine. I'll pick up. If I'm talking to somebody, I'll try to sense them. I'll try to get a feel for them. And if I get the slightest vibration that I'm wasting my breath, I'll shut it down right away. And the person, whoever I'm talking to, they'll feel it, because I'm naturally talkative. And if I'm with somebody and they shut me down, then I'll just get quiet and not say anything. And they're going to feel it. Whoever, I'm sure it's probably the same way with you, brother. You know, silence can say a lot more than, you know, all the yapping in the world, I think. Because when you hold your peace, then people, they get kind of uneasy, you know, because, you know, you don't feel like shooting the bull about, I don't like that, man, shooting the bull about the world, about things that there ain't no solution to, or, you know, I used to, but I can't do that no more, man. The conversation has got to be going somewhere. It's got to go somewhere. I can't be a part of that. And that brother that comes over, I be saying in my mind, why do you keep coming over here? You know? And so I'm just gonna have one thing. Sometimes certain people, they can't. Well, there's a lot of people like that, and the OAHSPE says that there's a difference between not being able to handle it and not caring about it. You know, people who can't handle it, you know, those are the people. They get aggravated. You know, they get real animated. they get real fervent. They get real actively denying, coming against what you have to say. But really, faith is, we don't have to, you brother, you ain't got to talk to nobody. You don't have to say, you don't have to share anything with anybody. Craig said if they ain't willing to hear it, don't give it to them. I like that. I'm with that. To me, that sounds right. So let me share some more that, I like to just try to share some of the things that, Dave, who comes in from time to time, he likes those near-death experience videos. And there's a lot of common, the reason why I like to look at them too is I think that there's, when you hear the same witness over and over again, about some things, and you have to believe it. You gotta be able to see that there's some truth there. I was looking at one video, I think it was this video right here I posted in my room, where the guy that was talking, he said, they look at you as like superheroes in the spiritual. Trying to make that emoji go down. I wish I, go, leave, get away, leave. One of the videos I was watching, and the guy said he crossed over, and he said that, they look at, you spiritual brother like heroes in this spiritual. You guys are real superheroes. Because he said the earth is the worst place to be for the spiritual. I think I read that too in the OAHSPE, where it talks about the I remember one image I seen in the OAHSPE where it shows you an image of they're like 7 realms or something. Have y'all seen that? Y'all remember seeing that? There's like a picture, it shows you 7 realms, and then it shows you Etheria and Nirvana, I think. And I think I recall reading where the OAHSPE, it says that we're in the worst testing. This is the worst testing place of all the worlds. We start out here. Once you're born, that's it, man. You don't get born again in the flesh. You go to the spirit, and from there on, it's on, man. We are here doing karmic shadow work. I don't know if I know enough about karmic shadow work. I can receive what you're saying, Ace of that. I can receive it. It must have something to do with correcting what was not right with us. Then Elisha says the Eon angels are here to learn how to govern the galaxy. Yeah, that sounds really right to me. That really sounds right to me. The spiritual, and then you got us, the mortals. Here we are. We're setting up our spiritual by the things that we, we're creating our spiritual self in this reality, and everybody does to one degree or another. And then when we are born again, we just start off at different places in the hereafter. Just start out at different places, from what I understand. So, oh wow, hey brother, I love your videos, man. OAHSPE College University. I love your video. Hey, you want to come on, bro? You want to come on the channel real quick and introduce yourself? You want to come on? Let me go ahead and put the link in the room in case you decide you want to come on. Brother, I love your videos, man. I sure do. I think you were one of the first ones that, oh, look at that. You got a little fan base here, bro. Yeah, I hope you keep it up, man. Here's the link if you want to check in. You want to greet the room or whatever. Yeah, but I hope you keep it. I hope you keep going, bro. There's not much of an audience for this word we sharing with people, but that's all right. We called here. We here to do a job, and we not really looking for fame and you know what I mean, a big following. But there's the link, brother. If you want to click on it, just I can't see the screen when somebody's backstage, so you got to tell me in the chat I'm backstage, or I'm coming in, and then I'll come back and bring you in. But if you want to come in, brother, and say a word or introduce yourself, just click the link, click on that link, and it'll bring you in. So I got to put the screen down again. I won't be able to see if you backstage. You're gonna have to let me know in the chat that you want to come in or you're backstage, and I can click you in. But I'm glad to see you, brother. I hope we can link up, man. And do the work together. I support your channel. So, but it certainly is good to see you, man. I hope you keep going. So, I forgot where I was at. So glad to see the brother come in. So, there was a particular verse that I was looking for, and I forgot the point of the verse that I was looking for. When I see the verse that I had in mind, I'll recognize it. I'm just scrolling a couple of things before I get to the reading. Here's one. It says, "It's Jehovah's will that you drink deep of the sorrow of parting." Let's see. OAHSPE says, "No problem. We link one day. My kids did not sleep." Okay. Yeah, I'm here for you, brother. Anytime you're ready for me, anything I can do for you, let me know. So it says, "It is Jehovah's will that you drink deep of the sorrow of parting, for by this bondage you will be again reunited in heaven still above." How do you like that? Brethren, think of that. We're going to be reunited with our loved ones. How do you like that? Am I wrong? Am I saying something wrong here? Because let me know, man. This is what it sounds like to me. That's what it sounds like to me. Now, I think that the length of time is going to what we don't know, because when you, brethren, if you were like Ethereum, and some of our family members haven't elevated yet, from what I understand, that we only can, it's like, it sounds to me like they have like visitation rights to us, for brethren who are elevated. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, man, but it's like there is a separation between brethren. It's like they're on different realms. That's what it sounded like to me when I read it. It's more like they have, visitation rights to see brethren who have elevated. It's not like they are joined together all the time now. I don't know, man. Correct me if I'm wrong. I'm just saying that I think I recall reading that. Your loved ones, man. If you have elevated over and above the level that they are on, it's like, they have to, it sounded like they had to, get permission to come to you. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think I'm right. I was reading something like that. It says, "It is Jehovah's will that you drink deep of the sorrow of parting, for by this bondage you will again be reunited in the heavens still above." It says, "The progress of the soul of man is forever onward, and his steps and plateaus, and the glory of resurrection of the one who goes before is equally as great as is the sorrow of the one who remains behind. But the love that binds together is as a chain stretched across the universe. Neither time nor distance shall prevail against its inventions." How do you like that? Our loved ones. They go upward and outward and upward, like Dave says. Once we come into the flesh, from then on, it's outward and is upward and upward and outward and upward and outward. Onward, upward, and onward. Now you start your journey, spiritual journey. You got to go to school. Some are going to labor who maybe don't want to elevate. They got to go to school to labor in whatever it is they desire. You brethren who want to or interested in elevated, you're going to have to go to school to learn how to, be. You got to learn, to be on the path to learn how to be a god. Like the brother said in the room here, learn how to be gods and goddesses. You one way or another. Everybody must learn and contribute. This sound like when you read the OAHSPE. There is no. Everybody's got to produce one way or another. There may be brethren who don't want to elevate. They'll basically be put to work in the spiritual. Yeah. Brethren who surely want to elevate, you got to go to school. You got to learn, like how to be in a shar and a soph, a lord. You're already an angel. You got and we were talking the other day about the ability of like just a lord, how they have to be able to listen to like 1,000 people, and they got to know what each one is saying, man. They got to be able to learn what's going on by say, like if there's an explosion. You remember this part, OAHSPE College University? The part where it talk about they got to be able to like hear like an explosion, and they got to be able to tell like how many people is affected by that thing, where it took place, what was used, without even being there or knowing anything about it. Now, don't even talk about a God, man. Good night, man. I think that one of the things that I remember reading about a God is you got to be able to hear the second education. What do you mean sounds like my family gathering, H&F? Yeah, the second education. That's right, brother. Yeah, man. You got to train for these things, Either you satisfied, you got you part of the middle class, you work at, Ford Motor Company, and that's cool for you, make a good paycheck, live comfortably. But now I'm just digressing, I don't know for sure, but it sounds like for those who want to elevate, you get taught how to become a god or goddess. And I have to say something weird here, man. If possible, I would like to just chill out. Yep, you got to be here all the talking at once. Of like, for a Lord, it's like 1,000 people. That's why you read. I think that I still don't know how to receive Jesus Christ. I think he shared a lot of OAHSPE truth. Because one time he said, "Why do you think evil in your hearts?" He knew what they was thinking in their hearts. And if he was real, I would have to say he was a Lord. A Lord. If he was real, he sounded like he was like I know he did one thing that was very problematic for me. If you read the OAHSPE, it talks about Baal Gad God. Baal Gad God. And that was a false god. And it said that Jesus used to do something, and it was something that it referred to Baal Gad God. I can't really remember the account. I think it was something he said, or something. It might have been something he said, like unless I think it was something he said that's what Baal Gad God would say. Baal Gad God or something like that, his name in the OAHSPE. Something like Unless you call on my name, you cannot be saved, or something like that. I read it a while back. Time for the reading of the word. Time for the reading of the word. So let me just maybe scroll a couple more verses here. You can stop the video and read it if you want. This sounds like a bit interesting video right here. I'm going to check that out. A bit about pre-birth plans. Oh man, that's going to be nice right there. That link. Yeah. Join my room, man. You know, I love to try. Let me do the work for you. So far as finding things to read, that'll bless your soul. See, we're going to grow together. I think we covered that yesterday. Doing things for your pupil. It's a disadvantage for the pupil. So there was a verse that would have jogged my memory as to what I wanted to talk about, something else. But it's time for the reading of the word. So let me go ahead and pick up from yesterday. We were looking at Ahura. You're going to love Ahura. You're going to have mercy on the brother. He fell. He got into pride. But he redeemed himself. You know, let me see. Asaph says, I believe he is. And yes, the Bible calls him Lord. Every tongue should confess. Yeah. Now that was a very problematic verse right there. Baal God. I think thanks says, yeah. That was very problematic. See, that's an incredible thing, man, about the Bible now. We can decipher it. The Creator, He letting us see through it, man. I don't know about you, but man, I am amazed. I mean, I can just feel it when I'm reading it. When I read, I can just feel it. The anointing on the Word to clear up things, clear up error. So let's go ahead. I'm picking up where I left off the other day. Now I'm going to jump back up a couple of verses. Now we're at a point now where his kingdom is starting to rebel against him. Ahura, his kingdom, his sub-gods are saying, man, you know, you lied to us, man. You said that if we followed you in your kingdom, that at some point you was going to elevate us, we was going to have our own kingdoms, and we now finding out that you can't do anything. You can't take us no higher than yourself. We can't rise no higher than what you are. That means we stop. So that's the narrative. That's where we are in the story right now. So I can go ahead and pick up with the reading. This is the book of Divinity, chapter 22. It says, but his lords and sub-gods did not come before. See, now Ahura, he called him, the rebellion is going on, and he said, hey, everybody get together, come meet before me, right? And basically they know, nah, man, you just gonna feed us a load of bull, man. We don't even want to hear it no more. So we're picking up there. It says, but his lords and sub-gods did not come before him, but sent this answer. As you promised us advancement, provided we served you, so we likewise promised our shars, our marshals, and captains. Now they come to us saying, we have served for hundreds of years. Give us preferment. But we have nothing to give. Do not think, O God, that we are unwise, or that we hunger and come begging, or that diadems and gems or costly thrones will satisfy us. We know what you have to give, promises. It says, we know every corner of your vast kingdom, and that all places are full, and that you cannot exalt us. Why? Why then should we have spoken before the throne and seat us? Talking about when they agreed to rebel against Jehovah. It says, would not our voices merely breed mischief among your other gods and lords? And so they're answering why they didn't approach Ahura about their complaints. The sub-gods are saying that would have caused us to be under suspicion until we decided to execute our plan, so we didn't tell the other gods. It says, rather let us err in our proceeding, bring just punishment upon ourselves than injure you and your kingdoms. Hear us then, O Ahura Mazda, the false god. He says, where does the desire for endless advancement come from? That's a hell of a question right there, because that's the same for all of us. We gonna want to know, man, when we're born, what's up, what's the deal? As we elevate, as we grow, children, as you become adults, mature adults, you want to know, you want answers. So they're the same way. It says, what is this desire we have for endless advancement? Where does it come from? If this is heaven, if this heaven is all. So they said, if this is the highest, why do we perceive there's something greater? And where did it come from? If a little knowledge gives power, why then is great knowledge not desirable? We have destroyed our great colleges, saying, you must not go higher than us. Remember, O Ahura, we were students under the faithless God and lords when you succeeded. And you said to us, behold, the long training of your course, a curriculum of 1,000 years. In other words, do you want that? You want to be stuck 1,000 years, man, before any opportunity to learn? So he said, here, man, come with me. Come to my kingdom, man. He says, come with me. I will give you kingdoms at once. So we came to you, and we were suddenly puffed up with great pride. Behold now, we look abroad, and the same stars shine upon us. We have not visited them. We do not know how to go. We do not know how to go so far. The countless Ethereal worlds lay beyond ours. We are told that they are habitable, that you can live there. We know not, or we do not know. We do not know. We have no knowledge. We do not know. We have no knowledge enabling us to get away from these heavens, except indeed back to the filthy earth. The filthy earth. It says, to this Ahura replied, saying, it is plain to me you are beside yourselves. Meaning they're mad, they're pissed off. He says, this heaven is good enough. If there are higher heavens, let them come or stay. I do not go to them, but in truth, with your present convictions, I would be an unwise God not to grant you dismissal from my kingdom. So he's saying, go. If you want to go, go then. And then it says, this ended the matter, and the 60 sub-gods deliberated on their course and finally sent the following address to God and Moru. That's I think it's an Ethereal kingdom. Kingdom of around the righteous gods. They want to defect to the faithless now. Now they want to defect back to the faithless. It says, in reverence to you, God of the faithless and Jehovah, we have had sub-kingdoms and know our rank is beneath yours. But we are reaching outward and onward. We submit our cause to you. First then, there are 60 of us of the rank of sub-gods. And we hold 700 million subjects. Disaffection has risen between ourselves and Ahura Mazda, from whom we are alienated. But whether we shall unite our host into a new kingdom of our own or affiliate with some mighty God, that is our question. They want to know. Now we want to defect. We want to defect. We want to know what we get out of it. If we give all these 700 million students, these 700 million subjects to you, making your kingdom that way, way bigger. And so they say, what preferment can you give to us if we turn our subjects over to you? God answered them, saying, brothers, hear me patiently. Consider my words. First then, I am not the God of the faithless or of any other people, but God of the locality that was assigned to me by the Father through his Son. Nor can you give your subjects to me, for by my service to Jehovah I can have nothing, and least of all my brothers and sisters. He says, moreover, I can give you no preferment. I have nothing, neither to give nor to sell. When the Father gives me wisdom and power, I impart them to others. Besides, until you have also learned to know that you have nothing, neither subjects nor jewels, also desiring nothing, except wisdom and strength to impart to others, how can you hope to gain admittance into my places of learning? See, don't you love it? Creator, he telling us, don't get tied to the earth. Don't get tied to the possessions, the dainties of this life. In order to be a king, you must own nothing. Meaning you are willing to give it away. The type of spirit that we have to be under. Not a covetous, like the world, fighting over a piece of land. Mine. See? You can't be a part of Jehovah's kingdom doing that, man. You're covetous. You want to get, and that's the vibration of the earth that we're under. Get all you can get, because after this there ain't no more. That's the mindset of the earth. Get it while you can. That's a terrible thing, man. It's a terrible thing. And lastly, since you have kingdoms of your own already, raise them up, and thus prove to me your just merit. He's saying, you got kingdoms. If you want, then raise your own up. You don't need to join anybody else. And then it says, to this, the confederated gods replied, what do you mean? That gods and angels must labor for others rather than themselves forever and receive nothing for it? See, they want, that shows you that they under the wrong vibration all the way. It's, all they can think of is themselves. And then it says, God answered them, even so, except you shall receive an abundance of happiness, and it will endure forever. It says, God answered them, even so, you shall receive an abundance of happiness, and it will endure forever. Meaning, if you get a kick out of raising up other people, that's true riches right there. And that's the will of the Creator. And you will receive an abundance of happiness, which is really all that really matters. And he says forever. You got to change your mind, man. You got to be willing to see your brother get it just as good as you get it. I mean, you got to be willing to see that you know what I mean? The Creator, he want us. He don't want us to be under that vibration where, I got mine. It's up to you to get yours. I love it. We have to deal with our brother from, hoping for their best welfare. Hoping for them to have it just as good as we have it. You gotta love it. It says, here the matter ended for 2 whole years, and the sub-gods did not understand the plan of Jehovah's kingdoms, but their kingdoms were out of sorts, having no head. Hundreds and thousands of subjects were deserting them and returning down to the corporal earth, becoming wanderers and druges. So now you see why the world people are in a situation that they're in, because of the rebellion of the false gods in their heavens. They come down to the earth and they influence people to be this way, or go rob the bank, or let's go to hell. And it says, finally the sub-gods again appealed to God in Moru, inquiring as follows, is a God not God, whether he is for another or for himself? Is a God not a God, whether he is for another or for himself? It says, behold, we have helped to build up Ahura. He is a mighty God. If we affiliate with you, we will labor to build up you also. Yes, we will adorn your throne and your great heavenly city, but since we have some gods, we do not desire to enter your service as mortals, as menials and servants. What then shall we do? So that both of you and ourselves may have honor and glory. There it is right there. They still want to know what's in it for them. They still want to know, hey, what's it? If we defect, if we join your team, they don't get it, man. You don't get it. You just don't get it, man. It says, God answered them, saying, you cannot serve me. I have no servants. Serve Jehovah only. Behold, we are all brothers, being sons of the same great Spirit. As for building me up, it is sufficient for me that he who created me will build me up according to my just deserts. Reap what you sow. As for adorning my throne, you can only bring substance to it from the lower kingdoms, which I do not desire. Saying you can't, why should a 5-star go down to a 4-star? Okay, Elijah, peace to you, brother. Thanks for checking in. It says, why would you adorn the heavenly city of Moru? Behold, it is merely a resting place of the great journey to the kingdoms of endless light. In a few hundred years at most, not only I, but my hosts will rise from this place, never to return. And lastly, to be a self-god like Ahura is to own all things possible and hold on to them. To be a god as I am is to own nothing and to retain nothing. But to be forever giving away all one receives. Did I not say to you before, begin with your own hosts and exalt them? Because you asked for subjects, behold, the Father gave to you. The Father gave to you. Do not think that he will permit you now to cast them aside or barter them off. Neither shall you allow them to become wonders, nor return back to the earth as drudges. To the extent that you raise up the kingdoms that you have been entrusted to the extent you raise up the kingdoms that have been entrusted to you, so will you also be raised up. Nevertheless, if you desire to affiliate with Jehovah's kingdoms, the way is open to you, and your first labor will be to gather together all your own host and to labor among them, teaching them wisdom, strength, and individuality equal with yourselves. And when the lowest of them is risen so, then you can enter the kingdoms of the Father as you have had to profit up your subjects for hundreds of years. Return now to them, service for service. Jehovah is justice. You gotta love it. You gotta love the Creator, man. You just have got to love his rock solid justice, man. And so to help explain the world too, that people who lead about other brethren, if they benefit off of their subjects to their own advantage and not your subjects, don't think you're getting away with it, man. You're going to have to serve them. These tyrants, these dictators that, man, it makes me think of King Leopold of Belgium. I think it was Belgium. I mean, oh man, the things he did. Do you brother know what's going on in the Congo, man? Have you heard the destruction that's going on? Now, see, these are dark people. That's why nobody knows. About 10 million people homeless, And the USA and Israel is behind what's going on to them brethren. The USA and Israel. See? And the Creator, he says that they're going to have to, before those who are responsible for their condition, that they're going to have to, they have to serve all those people. Well, when you talk to me about Hitler, I know a little more than the average person. I ain't trying to sound proud about Adolf Hitler. It's just that when I was young, I read Mein Kampf. I read it. I also have studied him. And I don't want to get in trouble on YouTube. I don't want to get in trouble. But I will sell if anybody is interested. I'm gonna type this dude's name in so I don't even have to say it on video. I'm gonna type his name in. If any of you want to know, yeah, Ace and F, you should look at what's going on there, man. Because they're dark people. It ain't as important. It ain't as important what happens to them. See, the world is the same old world, man. The world is the same. You dark skinned it. You're going to always get the bottom of the stick. You know what I mean? You know how it goes. And yeah, I'm the fate that's saying this. I didn't stop losing. I didn't become dumb all of a sudden since I became a faithist. I still see what's going on, okay? And it pisses me off, if I were to be honest. I've still got feelings, man, for who I would call my race according to the flesh. But enough of that, man. Now here's the guy's name, and you'll see why when I, talk about Hitler. He has been greatly, his grandson is Barack Obama. You know that, right? He has been great. He's been used as a boogeyman. Adolf Hitler. They use him as a boogeyman because they know you won't do the research to find out if he really was the way they say he is. That's kind of a sensitive area with me, Adolf Hitler. And then there's the name of the person, just, Google it and do a little research on what he had to say about something that people say happened that never did. And you might get an idea of what I'm talking about. Okay. So let's keep going. Alright, so the sub-gods made no answer to this for a while. Okay, so anyway, they're asking for honor and glory. They want to defect to the faithless kingdom. They want to defect. And the faithless gods tell them, look, man, it ain't about you giving us your kingdom and you won honor and glory, and you got the wrong mindset. You raise up your own people and then you can elevate with us. And they didn't like that answer. So it says, the sub-gods made no answer to this for a while, but Jehovah moved upon their hearts, and they perceived wisdom and justice, and they repented bitterly, bewailing of the loss of the 1,000 years in which they had espoused kingdoms, but they did not have sufficient power or learning to extricate themselves. So they petitioned God for more light, and so God affiliated them and appointed Vishnu as Lord to them and their chosen. Now, this is the God over, I think it's India, Vishnu, the God who is over India. Let me see. Asenath, she says, absolutely do research on him and his Thule society, but I'm always willing to go deeper. I don't know what the Thule society is. Can you tell me what the Thule society is? Asenath, I don't know what that is. Thule society. Thule society, I don't know what that is. So it says, and Vishnu, okay, so now, the creator, he moved on the false gods, the sub-gods. He moved on their heart. They want to join. They want to go back to Jehovah's kingdom. And now, at first, they didn't go for it. But it says the creator, then he moved on their hearts to make them perceive that this was the right way to go. They was going to have to go back, go under the god of Vishnu, the god of, I think it was India, and start over again because they didn't have the wisdom. They didn't know how to elevate, so they had to be taught again. And so it says, and Vishnu took 300,000 teachers, captains and physicians, nurses and laborers, and went in Matrius. Now I think Matrius is a heavenly realm. Okay, it says it here, a heavenly place to the rest of venue. And there established a lordly division with messengers connecting them to Moiru and Harati. And Vishnu sent his captains and sufficient forces under command of the sub-gods to arrest those who had become wandering spirits. Now these are subjects who saw the confusion in Ahura's kingdom. They went back to the earth as spirits. Okay, Hitler is the Thule, Vril, Madame Blavatsky. Check into it. Okay, I've heard about Madame Blavatsky and Vril. Never Thule, but are you saying that he started that society, or I still don't understand, is it bad, that society? Is it good, or is it spiritual? You know what I mean? Is it a Thule society? Is it a bad place, a good place, or what? Okay, it says so. And while the spirits are okay, YouTube. All right, I might check it out. Okay, so the sub-gods and those who had become wandering spirits had returned. They were being arrested. Those who had saw the confusion and chaos of Ahura's kingdom and the division going on, and they went back to the earth as Beetles and Drujas. And while they were on this duty, Vishnu organized his lorddom, and this was the first lorddom established in heaven, which is to say, as mortals on earth have military stations, so was the lorddom of Vishnu. Jehovah's voice is spoken to God and Deva, saying, "Behold, time has come." Now Deva is the heavenly parliament, saying, "Behold, the time is coming when the sub-kings of Ahura, the false, will begin to revolt. And they will have billions of slaves who will strive to go back to the earth to dwell with mortals. They will dwell in darkness, and you shall not allow them to regain the earth, lest the races of men go down in darkness, even as before the submersion of Pan. For which reason you shall establish a lorddom and raise a sufficient army to shield the inhabitants of the earth. And you should make Vishnu your Lord in my behalf." So the sub-gods have to agree to turning their kingdom over to a righteous God to begin with. And it says, when it was known in Cetus, that's Ahura, the heavenly place of Ahura, that 60 sub-gods will, with their hosts, and had affiliated with Jehovah's kingdom's general disobedience to Ahura was manifested by the remaining sub-gods, of whom there were yet more than 800, and these had within their dominions more than 2 billion angels of all slaves, who had light from no other heavenly place than the small precinct where they had been kept in drudgery for hundreds of years. It says, the voice of Jehovah came to God, saying, "My son, take advantage of the seed of disaffection in Ahura's kingdom. Send an Odivan, great power throughout the heavenly kingdom," some type of transportation vehicle, Odivan. "And you shall put trumpeters in the Odivan, and they shall prophesy the dawn of Dan within 200 years. Dawn of Dan is time of enlightenment. Like we're in right now, Cosmic Era. It's a time of enlightenment now. That's why you're hearing so much about advancements in science. There's a lot of talk about making plants, making the source of food plants. Now, I don't know how to really think about that. Hey, Fritz. Hey, brother. Peace, love, and light to you, brother. Good to see you. Oh, there's a lot of talk about plant food, modified, from plant food. Now, I don't know what to say about that, man. I mean, I eat plant food now, plant sources, grains and fruits, and no more meat for me. And by the way, I will say this, man. I believe that stuff does make a difference. I mean, I still have I still eat a pretty fatty diet as I'm trying to break away from meat, and I've been able to stay away from it. But the stuff they got out there, man, that's plants, come from plants. I mean, it's like pretty close to the real thing, man. You know, it's hard to tell the difference. But when you got people like Bill Gates out there buying up farms and want to depopulate the earth, man, we're sunk. That man's a eugenicist. You know what a eugenicist is, right? A eugenicist? Eugenicist, check it out. Definition of a eugenicist. Look at that. How to arrange reproduction within a human population. Yeah, OAHSPE. That's right, brother. You right, man. This is what we getting ourselves into. The study of how to arrange reproduction within a human population. You know what that means, right? To decrease it. You know who's going to be getting decreased, right? Don't make me say it. I'm sorry. You know who I'm talking about. You know who's going to be getting decreased, right? You know? Just think of, let me see, who is a famous Negro? Like Malcolm X, you know? Like Fred Hampton, like Nat Turner, you know, yep, Fritz. You know what I mean? See, that's the part about, you know, hey man, Jehovah save us, man. Yep, Rosewood, yep. Jehovah save us, please save us, you know. We got white brothers and sisters, and thank God for that, but please save us from the white man. Please save us from Zionists and the white man. We need, Jehovah, please deliver us. We tried to save Babylon, but she would not be saved. Deliver us from the white man and the Zionists. Please deliver us. They just get more and more evil. And they want the earth to themselves. Jehovah, we call upon you to deliver us from the evil, the present evil. Eugenics. Well, let's get back to the reading of the word. So, God perceived he had his workmen built. God perceived that he had his work. So anyway, there's Jehovah is rearranging the sub-gods. They were rebelling, and he's going to take over their kingdom now. The sub-gods that are rebelling is Ahura. Let me see. Ahura says, it's not the white man. They are a false flag, a scapegoat. Whatever you call them, they look like white people to me. I don't care what you say, man, but there are people who look the same that are behind a lot of evil that affects the whole world. So what you can call them what you want. I'm not racist. I ain't prejudiced. But I know when I look at the international governing bodies like the World Health Organization or the United Nations Security Council, or, you know, International Criminal Court, or look at any governing global body and tell me what you see. You see the British and you see Americans over the institutions, the global international governing bodies that count. And then tell me, look at a map of them and tell me what you see. G8, G7. So I don't care what you call them, Ace and F. You know, they look like a group of people to me. false flag, scapegoat, whatever. All I know is that eugenics is a depopulation program. United Nations are representative of, dark countries too, but the different international governing bodies that decide what you eat, decide what medicine to give you, you know what I mean? Decide what laws that you must live under. And if you think that the Uzians are going to share the earth with you, you're flat out of your mind. You read in the OAHSPE that they used to bum rush Faiths, take their land, take their food. We had to end up building mounds, those earth mounds. You brother ever see those earth mounds? Check it out. Ohio earth mounds. I know you brethren probably seen this before. We built these things. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. Faith has built this type of stuff. Isn't that something? Earth mounds. Look at that, man. To protect from Uzians, Druges. Let me see. Ace and S says they can manifest themselves in whatever they choose. There's never been the outer flesh, just the inner man that's being destroyed. Yeah, now I do agree with that. Dark matter. So that's what Art Bell used to talk about. Dark matter. I never really understood that. They can manifest themselves into whatever they choose. There's never been an outer flesh, just the inner man that's being destroyed. Yeah, I certainly agree with that. I do agree with that. Yeah. I mean, I can see that. Yeah, Fritz, Psalm 83, famous psalm in Israel. They have taken crafty counsel. Yeah. But that's all I know, man. They can take whatever shape they want, but the shape they've decided to take has a definition, and they are, I mean, we just going so low in our spiritual elevation. You know what I mean? That's how we know we can't go on like this. We just cannot. The Creator's doing something. He's going to depopulate the earth of Druges. I mean, their numbers are going to go down. Faiths are going to go up and up and up. Let me see if I can bum rush the rest of this reading. Okay. So God perceived that he had his workmen build an Odie van of great power, and he provided trumpeters and sent them forth, saying to them, "You shall travel 10 years in the heavenly places around the whole earth, prophesying in less than 200 years. Jehovah's Ethereal hosts are coming. Prepare for the resurrection. His kingdoms are open for the weary. His lords and gods will give you rest." Ahura summoned his council of false gods, hoping they might invent a remedy to counteract so great a prophecy. And he and his council sat 40 days and 40 nights in their heavenly capital, but there was no highlight among them, merely each one giving his opinion. But at that end of 40 days, Ahura resolved upon following the method to send prophecy to his own. So he creates his own seer. It says, accordingly, he had an Odie van built and sent trumpeters forth with these words: "I, Ahura Mazda, only son of the all-nothing presence, personated in my very own self, proclaim from my all-highest heavenly judgment seat. Hear my words, O gods, and tremble. Hear me, O angels, and fall down. Hear me, O mortals, and bow down to my decrees. Behold, I send my fire ship, prophesying that in less than 200 years I will come in the dawn of Dan, but you did not obey. You were defiant before me. Then I swore an oath against the whole world. You shall know my power. Then I came down out of my holy mountain, high heaven, and have already come. Now is the dawn of Dan. I send my trumpeters first. After them come my lashers and enchainers." Well, these are slave masters and enchainers. It says right here. They use the whip, and changers, and those who are blind, and others. I will have mine, and I will cast into everlasting torment the drooks and druhas by the thousands and tens of thousands. Ahura's gods had become acquainted with him during the hundreds and hundreds of years, and they no longer trembled at his commandments. And in their hearts they knew he could not do what he professed. They knew his prophecies were vain, boastings indeed, and very trumpeters did not believe what they proclaimed. Okay, so I'm going to stop and pick this up tomorrow. Actually, I was supposed to start around right here. I think I read the stuff that I read, but that's all right. So I'm going to do chapter 13 tomorrow then, Creator willing. But Ahura's really going off, man. He's really going off. I mean, just showing you what descent really means. Descent, man. He's just totally losing it. I mean, just totally rebelling and getting further away from the Creator. But this is one hell of a story of the comeback of the year. That's why I love to share this. So I'll pick this up tomorrow. That will conclude the reading of the video. Brethren, let me open it up and see if anybody wants to come on, share something, a little word, testimony. Let me see what y'all got here. Fritz, he says he definitely won't sit still, but it's not the color on the outside, it's the vibration of our soul they want to kill. Yeah. I mean, I could say the Uzians are the drugs, and really mean the same thing. I'm just saying that in this reality, they got a Uzian, is, when you talk about the powers that be, I mean, actually, they're corrupt, they're corrupt leaders of all, but for the most part, I look at lawmaking bodies, international governing bodies, people who make decisions that affect other people, and people who look like themselves ain't going to make decisions for the profit, for the advantage of brethren who do not look like them. We still haven't gotten that far yet. You know what I mean? That's where we live. The Creator, he kills color. There ain't no more of that in the kingdom. That's why we're free now. But we still live here. We in this reality. I'll give you a good example, man. Now, the president's son just got convicted. All right? Donald Trump just got convicted. Now, they may really give it to Trump, all right? But I wasn't surprised. Now, he was convicted of 34 felonies. You know what I mean? He might end up doing maybe a month. You see what I'm saying? That's the point I'm making. Now, president's son, he had a gun charge, right? Now, you put a gun charge on a Negro and watch what will happen. You know what I mean? Oh, yeah, they might not even do a day. Yeah, you see, I'm talking about the system. The system. I mean, it's a shame to even have to be talking about stuff like this. But the Creator, he take all that away, But it still affect us. We still affected, by the food we eat. We don't know what the hell's happening to the food supply. See, this type of stuff, we are affected by people who, they got agendas. You know what I'm saying? And we are affected by the things that these people, Now, plant food, that goes along with the OAHSPE, but you can do stuff to that. You know what I mean? You can manipulate it. But in the Sudan, or the Congo, I think it is. I mean, you just wouldn't believe it if you looked at what's going on there, man. 10 million people homeless. You know what I'm saying? See, we can't go on like this, man. We just can't go on like this. I mean, are we not supposed to care anything for these people? not to have no empathy for them at all. Well, I'm a faithist, and so that's it's all good for me. Is that what our attitude? I mean, I'm not saying we're like that, but it seems like the world attitude is like how in the world, oh, I don't know. It's, man, got to give thanks to the Creator for giving us, basically knowing that these people, when he sunk continent of Pan, when he sunk it, he said he gathered up the people, he gathered them up, and he sent them to, sent them to spiritual school. It was like they didn't perish. They died, in the flood, but it's like the Creator was saying that he did it for their own. That was, he gathered them up to bring them into in the spiritual, so that they could begin their elevation. They could begin their elevating in the spirit, But all right, well, shoot, man. I'll give it about another 30 seconds. If anybody wants to come on and comment or say anything, then feel free. The link is at the top of the room. But, man, thank you, brother, for joining me, man. I really hope you, brother, man. I hope you really, we really learning from what's going on around us. It seems obvious that the Creator is, everywhere you look, man. I could talk about all the boiling pots that are due to light off any minute. And here we are, we right here, Russia, Taiwan, Ukraine, Russia, United States, Israel, Gaza, Hezbollah. It seems like the Creator, I recall where he read, or where he said he is going to decrease the number of Uzzians. And the faithless kingdom, we may not perceive it, the faithless kingdom is going to steadily rise. So that's the good thing, that we can know that the kingdom, our kingdom, mustard seed right now. But all right, man, let me go ahead and close the video. Brethren, thank you for joining me. Want to give thanks to Heavenly Father, Earthly Mother, for this opportunity to be a light while I'm in this reality. Brethren, again, join me tomorrow Friday. No videos on the weekend, so tomorrow Friday. And bless you, brethren. Peace, love, and light to you, brethren. Thank you for encouraging my soul, showing up, and blessing my soul. So, again, until I see you on video, peace be unto you. Shalom.